Hello, Treacle. It's me, it's the Pucker One, Darren Burridge. I'm here in Doncaster because I'm here for one reason, and that's to lift the 1PW heavyweight champion ship of the world. Yes, I'm excited. I got my mother puckers up there in the crowd. I got my mother puckers down at ringside because they all know that that Pucker One is going to take that title. Now, first match, Abyss. You're a big boy, Abyss, but you're nothing compared to that Pucker One. On a more serious note, tonight I'm here to prove a point. I'm the only British guy left in this tournament. Now, a lot of people have already written me off, but wouldn't it be good? Wouldn't it be Pucker, just for once? Us British rewrote the history books, and that 1PW title, they didn't get on a plane and stayed right here in Doncaster. I haven't got an action figure. I haven't got a £10,000 contract with TNA or anyone like that. But I have got the British fans! And I've got the biggest set of furry dice in the world! So if you're a mother pucker, give me a hoo, 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 hoo!
Our opening contest is scheduled for one fall, and it is a quarterfinal round matchup in the 1PW Heavyweight Championship tournament. Introducing first, from Great Britain, weighing at 215 pounds, the Pucker One, Darren.
1PW Heavyweight Championship Tournament is finally officially underway. The final 8 have made it to Doncaster here for All or Nothing. This is Jody alongside the completely unreasonable Anthony Kingdom James, who are wasting no time right off the bat with the major star power as Darren Burridge takes on Abyss, who just leveled Burridge with a clothesline.
The biggest fight in 1PW short history, and Joe Dombrowski
Messing with the leg, bouncing all the dice are out. The Plico one is taking his dice out already.
We are going to see the hardest hitting action to ever hit the shores of Britain.
Look at big right in the side of the jaw. Abyss has come determined as well. We heard Burridge's words, but think about Abyss's leadership under the tutelage of Sterling James Keenan. In recent weeks, he's been damn near unstoppable since joining forces with Sterling. A huge splash into the corner for Burridge.
Shoe-leathered entry from Dr. Abyss, and then the big splash. Darren Burridge wants to keep the 1PW title in Britain. He's hard-pressed to do it right now.
Fans seem pretty split 50-50 early on. Wait a second. Black hole slam! Already, Abyss cover wins it!
You know, it's no fluke that I've advanced in this tournament. Last month, and no turning back, I beat one of the premier Canadian wrestlers in a Canadian destroyer, P.D. Williams. And tonight, Christopher Daniels, you and I are no strangers to each other. We've met only 4 times in the past, and you can't begin to understand how excited I am tonight. It's been 2 long years in the making.
Appropriately enough, tonight's event is called All or Nothing. And when it comes to the 1PW Heavyweight Title Tournament, that's exactly what it is. All or nothing. And so, to the other 7 members of the tournament, I ask you this: what are you willing to do to be 1PW champion? When it comes to Christopher Daniels, well, let me put it to you like this. Just to be in the tournament, I beat 2 of the best friends I've ever had, Low Key and Elix Skipper. And so tonight, what do you think I'll do to go farther? The first round opponent, Jerry Lynn. To say I have respect for you, to say I have admiration for you, is not even cutting the surface. But once the bell rings, that's all out the window, Jerry. It's all about winning. And so the rest of the guys, whether it's Samoa Joe, whether it's Abyss, whether it's AJ Styles, when I look at all of you, I think to myself, who better to be 1PW champion than God's gift to wrestling? Who better than the shining light? Who better than the saving grace? And the answer is this: there is no one better to be 1PW champion than Christopher Daniels, and that is the gospel according to the fallen angel.
continues an OPW Heavyweight Championship tournament following Angel Christopher Daniels. The new of the show, Jerry Lynn, and these Fallen Angel chants are deafening.
Did you say that? What did you say? Because I can't hear you over the chants, man.
This is literally the loudest I think I've ever heard these people in Doncaster, and that's saying a lot.
Yeah, it is saying a lot, Joe. And the crowd responds even louder for a show of respect.
Daniels and Lynn, definitely two of the most well-respected veterans in their field today.
Absolutely, Joe. Jerry Lynn, who I'm sorry, he's a godsend to the business of professional wrestling. And everybody who's ever laces up a pair of boots should wake up in the morning and thank God for Jerry Lynn, because he's the kind of guy that makes this business worthwhile.
Jerry Lynn defeated Petey Williams to earn his way into this Final 8 All-or-Nothing weekend tournament. Christopher Daniels had a match with Loki, turned into a three-way with Elix Skipper, still on the upper hand. Christopher Daniels managed to win. Fireman's carried by Jerry Lynn into the armbar.
Christopher Daniels, all man in a mile wide, and as tough as they come, either of these men would be an incredible first 1PW champion, and both of these men have an excellent opportunity to become that champion, except for the fact that they're facing each other.
Absolutely. I know you were applauding for Jerry Lynn as he made his way out. I don't think I'd be too far off in predicting that Jerry Lynn's one of your favorites to win.
I'm not making any predictions, Joe. Why pick one of the 8 when I could see any of the 8 as champion? The thing about people always thinking you're right, quick cover. People about having people think you're always right is to make sure you never let you be wrong. So I'm absolutely not making any kind of prediction.
Certainly definitely consider this one of the most wide open tournaments in professional wrestling history, as really, well, with the obvious exception of Darren Burridge already eliminated, this tournament could go to absolutely anybody involved. And both Daniels and Lynn not wanting to make any mistakes early on, keeping it basic. Shoots him off the ropes to counter the side headlock with a shoulder tackle, takes Lynn down. Daniels now up and over the new effort show. Lynn pops up, goes for hip toss. Daniels blocked. Lynn returns the favor. Lands on his feet after the attempted monkey flip. Lynn into the ropes. Satellite heads and just springs it off, takes it. Jerry Lynn gets the better of that exchange. Hip lock takeover, misses with the elbow. Now Daniels on the upper hand with the arm drag, and both men at a standstill, at a stalemate so far.
Look at the intensity on Chris Daniels' face. The man is a machine. And Jerry Lynn, earlier today, Jerry laughed at me when I called him the X-Vision Godfather, a pioneer. That's right. He didn't like that. He's a humble man.
But it's really so true.
Very much so. Very much so. A lot of what you see in the ring, if you're watching that certain promotion from Orlando.
Even years before that promotion came into existence, Jerry Lynn and the likes of Sean Waltman were having those style of matches in the early.
That's what I'm saying. The work he's done through his career has made that X Division possible. That's paved the way.
He was X Division before the term X Division existed, and Daniels with a knife edge chops. Oh, and Lynn's feeling that. Vicious knife edge chops.
Well, you know a guy who loves death metal as much as Jerry Lynn when he's in pain probably does think about Kelly Clarkson. I know when I think about Kelly Clarkson, I'm in pain.
Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels in control of Lynn in the corner, shoots him off. Charging in, gets the foot up. Lynn's off of a Hurricane Rana. Tilt-a-whirl, backbreaker, drops him, lateral press attempt, 2. Kick out by Christopher Daniels.
Referee Robert Pisker right on top of the action, checking to make sure that isn't a choke. Rear headlock, chin lock there from Jerry Lynn.
Lynn trying to regroup himself while still keeping the pressure on Christopher Daniels.
Well, I was right the first time. It's a headlock. What's wrong with me? Get their back to us.
Daniels.
It's early in the evening and I'm making excuses for myself.
Oh, then Christopher Daniels trying to get back up to that vertical base. Daniels in noticeable pain here. They're able to drive the elbow into the midsection. Off the ropes now, gets the momentum. Lynn ducking the head too early, and the STO takedown, that judo move, drops Lynn on the back of his head.
You're going to see a lot of that kind of action. The judo, karate out of Christopher Daniels. Big proponent of it.
Charging with a couple hard shots, taking down Jerry Lynn.
Yeah, he's also not afraid to just strike at you.
Lynn reverses, but Daniels ducks underneath. Jumping side kick connects.
Right in the mush.
Goes that lateral press. Does not hook a leg, however, and when you're in there with a veteran like Jerry Lynn, that's something you need to do.
Wow. Remember that commercial with the eggs, Joe? This is your brain. This is your brain. Daniels scrambled.
And it's Jerry Lynn firing back with those shots to the cranium. Sends him in, but Daniels buries the knee into the midsection.
Nice reversal.
Here's an innovation attempt.
Intricate.
Stretching the neck and the shoulder in ways it's not meant to go.
Like a hammer lock, chin lock, and abdominal stretch all at once.
Setting up that upper body of Jerry Lynn for maybe an angel's wings, maybe a last rites. But now it's Lynn's turn to elbow his way out of the submission. But the fallen angel relentless still on top of him. Shoots him in again, but back body drop. Great sense of balance by Daniels. That was baited right into that trademark Jerry Lynn leg drop to the back of the neck. Lynn was waiting for him the whole time.
Usually known for scouting his opponents.
But look out! Springboard drop kick! And did you see where that connected?
Double feet right in the face, one in the eye, one in the mouth.
Christopher Daniels may have a concussion. Look out, springboard with a pescado. Lynn connects with a first dive of the evening.
Leaving it all out here. Not anything back. Both of these men know they have to win this match to advance. How do you hold something back for the next round? You just got to hope that you win before your gas tank is empty.
Absolutely right. It's a tough strategy. You want to pace yourself, but you don't want to do it so much that you don't give your full effort. And Jerry Lynn almost had three. That's got to be instinct in the sense of Christopher Daniels kicking out of that. Daniels still noticeably woozy. Jerry scoops him up. TKO time. Drops him hard.
That's got to be it.
One of Jerry's signature moves. I think we have three. No. Another kick out.
Daniels wants this. He's not going to give it up easy.
Certainly everyone in this tournament would like to have be the very first name in a long lineage of prestigious holders of the 1PW Championship belt as Chris Daniels battles back to both feet.
It's just like love, baby. You'll always remember your first.
That's right. Measures the point of the elbow into the top of the head.
Paid a lot of money that night, I tell you.
Please, wait a second.
Oh my.
Air raid crash! Drops him down. Lynn with a hook. Lynn advances. No!
Lynn cannot believe it. Staring at Pisker. Pisker can't believe it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that may have been how he defeated Pete Williams to qualify in this tournament.
Wow, I'm not even sure Chris Daniels believes he kicked out of it.
Again, has to be instinct for the 13-year veteran Daniels. And it's Lynn firing away at the jaw. Daniels caught it. Oh! Flatliner face first.
Facial reconstruction. Jerry Lynn is out.
And it's Daniels now scooping up a limp Jerry Lynn by the hair. Uranagi suplex executed, and we know what that sets up. The BLE! Best moonsault ever! Double spring. Right out of the way, Daniels. Great thinking on his feet to land at the vertical base, but charges through with the knee. Now Daniels shoots Jerry Lynn in. Misses, but Lynn springing off. Powerbomb. Counter. Darren. Oh. My God.
Again, Jerry Lynn comes within a cat's whisker of advancing to the next round.
It's been counter move after counter move between these individuals. Unbelievable competitive matchup at Kingdom Real in the first round. And here comes this deafening chance again.
I'm stunned by it.
Not sure where you can hear us, but we will truck on. Daniels drops to a knee to avoid the cradle pile driver.
And Lynn's having none of it, smashes him in the back again and again.
Second counter, muscles Lynn over. Counter again, scoops it up. Oh, set up for the Angel Wings. Angel's Wings, no! Lynn springs up and it's a Hurricane Rana. My God, duck of the clothesline. And one jumping into Gurry kick. Oh, quick rolls him. Daniels has him trapped, nowhere to go. And Daniels is victorious.
This is the Rottweiler, the Notorious 187 Homicide, and my homeboy, the Pitbull, Ricky.
And in the corner, he weighs in at 126 pounds. This is Spud.
Is underway already. Joe Dombrowski and Bryce Sims bring you the All or Nothing Night 2 afternoon bonus matches here on this DVD release. As it is Spud goes one with Micky and Spud snapping up a quick arm drag. Lucha Libre style, satellite hit scissors, snaps off and Spud is on fire and charging through with the double knees. No lose. What about the inspirational story Spud has been recently in 1PW? You want to talk about standing up to the likes of Abyss and Sterling James King, never saying die, never quitting. Snaps off a martial arts style kick, gets a count of 2 on Micky L.
Spud absolutely an inspiration to all of our younger fans. Quite the little spitfire, and I'm not talking about old Herman.
Wait a second, Micky L goes to the eye. Spud is proof positive that all things are possible through courage, through determination, and through guts.
Absolutely. It's a small miracle Spud's walking after that cop killer last night.
Absolutely. And there's a lateral press and a 2 count to Micky L. I know Spud has withstood so much punishment from the 6'8", 350-pound monster, the new 1PW champion Abyss. And that hasn't kept him down. I don't know what, if anything, will.
We saw Micky L yesterday afternoon in a losing effort to Iceman.
Right. Which there's no shame in that, I'll tell you that right
now. No, absolutely not. Now with a little more sour attitude today. Not taking kindly to these chants for Spud.
Well, this is a stark contrast to the matchup last night involving Micky L. Here, Micky L is the one with the size advantage, with the strength advantage.
Yep.
Contrast to when he was in the ring with Iceman, and he really couldn't do very much, but now we're seeing Micky L in his element. He has the advantage in the tail of the tape. And Spud shots to the lower midsection.
fighting up like only Spud can.
Micky continuing to assert the advantage, staying on top of his opponent. And we talked yesterday afternoon about stars wanting to make a mark in these afternoon matches to prove that they are worth the spot on the roster. And Spud's been with us since the very beginning. Micky could impress a lot of people with a victory over the most unlikely superstar in 1PW.
Absolutely. Also one of those popular stars in 1PW. Oh!
Yakuza kick, huge boot, cover, upset, no.
Shades of Trent Acid.
I'm sure he's heard that a lot in his career, but it's not often that you would call an upset if a guy like Spud is pinned.
But like you said, a win over Spud would definitely raise some eyebrows to the 1PW powers that be.
A blatant choke. We have a new official on the job here.
Trying not to make it blatant. Oh, right between the shoulder blades.
Buries the knee before applying the chin lock.
Listen to these fans. It's 12 in the afternoon, Dombrowski. These people are more awake than I am.
My God, they are coming alive for Spud.
They should be in church.
Spud back to that vertical base.
Oh!
Hammering his way out of the chin lock. Now through getting that head of steam.
Never say die.
Fast quickness and takes him down.
Spud never quits.
A clothesline sends him down as well.
Yep. Spud fancies that satellite DDT as his finisher.
Enziguri kick after the head plant. And a reverse neck breaker.
Well played.
Excellent combination into a count of 2.
Micky also not wanting to give up. Not going to go down without a fight.
Staggering to his feet, but you got to want to be as well.
Not what he had in mind.
Baited him in with the back elbow, but Spud catches him with a jumping side kick. Cover. That's going to be a count of 2.
No, that's going to be a count of 2. Satellite DDT. Spud calls for his finisher. There's a popular argument that maybe you shouldn't yell out the move you're about to do. But perhaps Micky yells on Dream Street, it's not going to matter.
Let's find out.
Oh, around the wall.
Oh, put it on the brakes.
He had it scouted.
Makes it.
Blue Thunder Bomb.
2.
No!
Count of 2. Beautifully executed Blue Thunder Bomb there. Shades of the likes of the fallen angel Christopher Daniels.
Well said.
But it wasn't enough to put away Spud.
Nope. I don't think it's over yet. You have to pin him first.
Well, Micky thinks he has this matchup well in hand, but if it's one thing I've learned is no matter who you are or how big you are, you can never count out Spud.
Absolutely not. You're giving Spud an inch right here, and he just may take a mile. This may be the opportunity, the window he needs. Pick up a victory here.
High risk. Misses the frog splash.
No Louie on the pad.
Spud charging in.
Round the way.
Here comes DDT. Spud is.
And tonight we got these 6 idiots who's going to be competing in this tag team fatal 4-way. Let me tell you something, Johnny, Jody, you don't like the Backstreet Boys, in sync. I don't like no pretty boys like y'all. I told you that every country is a hood. This is gangster life over here. Then we got these 2 other punks, Cabana and Spud. Cabana, you got a black eye because moi. And Spud, dog, you are not in my league. Then we got these 2 white trashes, Chris Hamrick and Tracy Smothers. Well, we're going to do this just like the Civil War. You know what I'm saying? So the Rottweilers will be victorious tonight. And also, there's a little rumor, there's a tag team tournament in May. Well, Holmes, us, we're going to be in this tournament, and we're going to win it, and we're bringing those belts back to America. Like the gates of hell open is.
Team number 2 from Brooklyn, New York, and a total combined weight of 420 pounds. They are the team of the notorious 187 Homicide and Micky Raiders, the They have, according to Colt Cabana, a combined weight of 200 pounds. They're the team of classic Colt Cabana and Spud. Of 342 pounds, the team of Jody, Fleisch, and Jonny. Storm!
Southern boy Tracy Smothers before this Royal 14 matchup starts.
This is going to get out of hand so quickly. It's not already is.
Tracy sucks. I will have my bodyguard. He sets his head around on a part of Chris Herman to let us make each and every one of you individually.
That never, ever, ever works.
And I'm going to tell you something straight up here, too. If I hear a 1PW chant, everybody dies. Nobody lives.
Tracy Smothers doesn't let these fans have any fun.
Being the fact that every ethnic group on this planet is being represented here in this four-way tag, I announce to Sir Kingdom James that there will not be a dance-off tonight.
No white boy dance party!
Well, what's going to happen here now is y'all either forfeit or I'm going to come out of my shirt and the divorce rate goes up in this nothing happy country.
Wow.
Tracy Smothers is possibly your daddy.
That stinking 1PW chant, Ultra Mega Mass Homicide will go down in Doncaster.
Oh, we don't want that.
Okay, here we go. I come out with a shirt right now about here to say, somebody will say something like, keep it on straight up, I'm going to kill everybody.
And do we really have to go through seeing Tracy Smothers make a big deal about taking his shirt off?
Hey, you heard him. Tracy Smothers takes his shirt off, the divorce rate goes up.
Oh,
how can women resist Tracy Smothers, the original? Listen to them. Is the Southern boy?
I don't hear many high-pitched catcalls.
If there's any that I have learned in my 89 years of professional wrestling.
What?
89 years.
Talk about an exaggeration.
It's that chicks dig Tracy Smothers.
I don't know what kind of places you hang out. Referee Bryce Remsburg has a tough task ahead of him. He's got to control 8 of the wildest guys 1PW has to offer. And he's got to somehow narrow this down to 2 so we can start this matchup officially. Just think about the wildness of Homicide and Ricky Reyes, the Rottweilers, the resourcefulness of Southern Comfort, the agility of Storm and Fleisch, unorthodox nature of both Colt Cabana and Spud, it's really tough to make a favorite here, much like our title tournament as well.
I was thinking about it more like we got criminals and comedians.
I'm not even going to ask who's classified where.
Well, you're a joke.
What?
Nothing.
Get out of here.
I hate you.
Someone's got to bring the credibility. Armor by Chris Hamrick, veteran of 2 decades thus far. In control of Classic Colt Cabana making his 1PW debut. Quickly rolls out. Tag made. Who are we going to see? At Kingdom James, when I see these 4, wait, tag made to Johnny Storm. And we're about to see him face off with Chris Hamrick. And when I see all 4 of these teams in the ring, I can't help.
Where the hell does Johnny Storm get off? Throwing his gum at Tracy and then giving him the finger.
Hey, like Tracy Smothers hasn't offended enough people so far tonight. Give me a break.
You know, and the fans like this guy. The fans like Johnny Storm.
How could you not?
Makes me sick.
Oh, please. Look at this headstand. Hamrick has nowhere to take him now.
Cabana leans into the ring upside down to wave to him.
And now Storm has reversed that momentum, in control of Hamrick, but Kingdom James, when I see these 4 teams, I think about the rumors of a 1PW Tag Team Tournament and Champions in the near future. Hamrick springs off the ropes, arm drag, Japanese style, but Storm meets him at the pass. Back and forth, both men go. Wow, Storm takes it overhead as well. Quick cover attempt, both men up. Hamrick ducks the leg sweep, hits a kick. Missing us some elbows. Arm drag by Hamrick, just back and forth. Impossible to call this action.
I blinked. What the hell happened?
And we end up with Johnny Storm in control of the arm one more time of Chris Hamrick.
Well, it's not a rumor anymore, Joe. We can tell you the tag team tournament is a-coming to 1PW. There are going to be tag team champions crowned in 1PW. And you've got to believe that all 4 of these teams have got a shot at it. I know Cabana and Spud teaming for the first time. Cabana on the lookout for a tag team partner.
Cabana checking out a couple different options this weekend.
He's got Darren Burridge as his partner tomorrow if Burridge doesn't win Burridge is out of the tournament, so absolutely. So Burridge is going to be his partner.
And that match is going to be against Southern Comfort, so it doesn't get any easier for Colt Cabana here in 1PW. Tracy Smothers with the go-behind on Ricky Reyes of the Rottweilers. Reyes knee, able to break the grasp of Smothers, a veteran of over 2 decades. Reyes shot in, Smothers hits an elbow, but Reyes quick to capitalize with that drop toe hold. Now in control of the arm.
And yes, our very first look at Ricky Reyes here in 1PW. We've seen Homicide, we've seen Low Key. We've got the 3rd Rottweiler now.
Oh! Overhead exploder. Deeply hooked, nicely executed by Reyes.
This is what they mean when they say suplex boots.
Look out, charging forearm. And Homicide with a shot at Hamrick too. Face wash action in the corner.
No respect from Homicide.
Quick cover to Tracy Smothers. Goes for the 2 count, and that's all he's going to get. Battle a close line by the notorious 187 is one of his own. And we talked about low key a moment ago. Wait a second. Now picking on both Storm and Fleisch.
1 tag, 1 face wash.
Cross body by Fleisch. Fleisch was legally tagged into this match, Kingdom.
I'm surprised that Homicide went for the tag with Tracy Smothers down. This is a single pinfall match.
A single pinfall to a finish, that's absolutely right. But at the same chance, you want to wait. You want to keep yourself fresh and keep the other individuals in the ring wearing themselves out. Fleisch whipped in, duck underneath. Forearm shot connects to Smothers. And a standing drop kick as well. The lightning fast Jody Fleisch tags in classic Colt Cabana. And Cabana charging in on Tracy Smothers.
Big knee sting out of Cabana.
Off goes the dreaded butt. Into the cover. Smothers kicks out.
And Spud is in.
wrestler in 1PW, Spud, interrupts the pinfall. And Smothers, well, he needs a little consolation.
That Tracy looked very...
And now Chris Hamrick in the ring. And when you look at Spud, you have to think about the amazing things he's done. Pinning Elix Skipper at no turning back, standing up to the monster abyss since our inception.
I don't have to think anything like that. When I look at Spud, I think about my high school prom.
Oh, stop that. Think about him dropping Chris Hamrick with a DDT.
Also, I think about poodles.
Get out of here. Spud doesn't have a lot of size, but he has that heart, he has that determination to make up for it. Oh, wow. And Hamrick gonna go high risk. They call him high flying for a reason. Oh my God. Oh my God! On the top rope. Spud can't kick out. The Homicide ball. Spud might have been done after that. Wait a second. Tracy's got the mic.
Hey! Hold on! 20-second timeout right here. I'm blown up. I changed my mind. Hey, shut up! Hey, if I hear 1PW chant one more time, listen to me now. I changed my mind. Let's put the past 10 minutes behind us. There's a lot of ethnic groups here. I want to see what kind of rhythm you got. I'm challenging you boys right here, right now, and all or nothing in Doncaster to a 4-way dance-off.
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely!
We're going to have a dance-off in Doncaster. I can't picture the Rottweilers dancing. I can't see it.
4-way white boy dance party!
Are we really going to see this?
And look at the Rottweilers! The Rottweilers have never been more upset in their life!
They're here to fight. Oh, look at this. This is an embarrassment.
Well, the Rottweilers are just insulted by the idea of the white boy dance party!
Smothers is a total embarrassment to himself right now.
I guess we get next!
Oh, Lord.
Storm is in the ring! Fleisch is in the ring!
I never thought I'd see a sight to rival the white boy dance party for no turning back, but I think we're about to see it. But these guys look like they might actually have some rhythm. Maybe not.
That is ridiculous!
I don't know who to give the nod to so far. I have no idea who's out on points.
That is absolutely... Listen, it's got a nice beat and you can dance to it, but Tracy Smothers wins!
And now we're going to see
Cabana and Spud!
the dance stylings of El Clasico Magnifico. Kingdom James, was that the Curly Shuffle?
This made me... I'm apoplectic, I can't even speak!
compete in a dance-off.
What is this now?
And this matchup is control. They're falling all around us. Storm and Fleisch, the only ones left in the ring.
And you know what they're thinking of?
Oh no. Look out. Double flip over the top.
Right down the end of the front row.
Only in one PW. Spud charges in. Homicide elevates him, but Spud gets out of it. A series of elbows. Oh no, Cop Killer! Cop Killer! Oh! The Cop Killer! He's done! But Cabana with the save!
I don't know if Spud is a police officer, but he did get killed.
Oh my god! If Spud even gets up from that, I'll be impressed. Look at this, Homicide! With a toe pick on Hilo through the ropes! Wipes everybody out again!
Wait a minute! What's Cabana doing? What's Cabana looking at? He's picking up Spud! Spud is dead!
Spud is out from that Cop Killer.
He's picking up Spud!
Wait a second. Fleisch and Reyes on the outside. Spud elevate top of him.
He used his unconscious partner as a weapon!
We had Homicide and Smothers brawling on the outside. Hamrick and Cabana in the ring. Super kick. Cabana gets wiped out.
Hamrick playing possum!
Hamrick's up top.
But Cabana takes him out!
Chips up, crotches him on that top rope.
Tracy's in!
Oh no. Smothers has him on his shoulders.
Oh, this is not gonna go well for Colt. Cabana!
Overhead neck breaker. My God.
Wonders who will be 1PW's first champion. Will it be the phenomenal AJ Styles, the weapon of mass destruction Abyss? Will it be the fallen angel Christopher Daniels? Or will it be my first round opponent, Austin Aries? See, the answer is quite simple. No matter where I've gone in the world, no matter who I've fought, there's been one thing that's held true everywhere I've been. And that's when Samoa Joe comes to a company. Whether it be Ring of Honor, whether it be TNA, or whether it be 1PW, Samoa Joe comes for one reason, and that's to be a champion. 1PW, you've assembled the finest in the world to compete here tonight. But unfortunately, the finest is the best. Because tonight, Samoa Joe walks out 1PW champion.
Introducing first, hailing from every girl's fantasy, weighs in at 205 pounds, Austin Aries. weighs in at 270 pounds. He is the current reigning and defending X-Division champion. And the Samoa submission machine, Samoa Joe!
Samoa Joe and Steve Corino will cross paths again in the future. A lot of bad blood still remaining there from their past and present, but right now Samoa Joe's top focus is on that 1PW World's Heavyweight Championship, and the first step is to beat Austin Aries. Remember, Aries is the man who unseated Samoa Joe as Ring of Honor champion after being undefeated for 22 months. So Aries is proven against Joe in a big match situation.
Absolutely, Joe. Aries has proven that he can beat Joe, and he'd like nothing more than to do it right here tonight on the road to becoming the first 1PW heavyweight champion.
Collar and elbow tie-up, center of the ring. Aries with a quick wrist lock. Joe rolls through. Can use some leverage to escape the hold of the leg sweep. And Aries trying to get out of there. Well, there's one suit down. That is unfortunate.
Are you okay, Joe?
I'm okay, but my suit is not.
You're wet.
I'm on the receiving end of a boot. And I'm not speaking Canadian Kingdom. It was
I understood. Wet himself, somebody wet him. That's even worse.
I was wet on. That's bad.
Yeah, usually you gotta be a real freak to enjoy that kind of thing.
That's the kind of stuff that happens when you're the first to fall asleep at some late night party. My God.
Are you still going on about that?
Hey, don't give me that excuse you couldn't find the bathroom in time.
Listen to the mouths on this crowd.
Well, he says he hails from every girl's fantasy.
And Austin Aries is a very heterosexual man.
Well, I'd like to say very if you look at those armbands and those tights and that facial hair.
See? He's letting Joe know he is not. I mean, there's anything wrong with that. Well, I don't tell people I'm a Martian. I don't know if that's an analogy at all. That doesn't...
very bizarre confession.
Yeah.
Test of straight. We apologize for the discombobulation, to use a popular word, in this matchup here with us announcers, but
Well, we're lucky it was discombobulation and not electrocution.
or decapitation too. Man. But this is a very important matchup in both men's careers, the most important match in 1PW to date. 1PW quarterfinal matchup in the heavyweight championship tournament. What might happen again?
Touch me with your dirty towel.
It's not my towel. My God.
Austin Aries talking about discombobulation. Aries seems to be at a loss for what to do with Samoa Joe. He's got to think back to what took him to championship gold against Joe in the past.
Right.
Stick to that game plan.
And can you picture those tree trunks of legs cutting off your oxygen?
I don't have to picture it. I'm watching it happen last days.
Exactly right. And it's so tough to escape that hold when there's so much force of Samoa Joe behind it. But that momentum gets himself out of it. He also with a drop kick.
Joe, I'm surprised Joe seemed content to just sit there and watch what Austin Aries was doing.
Well, Joe was waiting for him to make a move, and it obviously wasn't the one he expected. Aries dropping the knee, but you gotta remember when Aries beat Samoa Joe in December 2004, we didn't see all this primping and posturing, and that lapse of time caused him to miss the knee. And listen to those hard kicks. My God, Aries gets dropped.
Aries asked if the fans wanted to see it again in slow motion.
Hard chop into a kick. That's that three-move combo Samoa Joe likes so much. Ending with that knee drop to the side of the head.
I was gonna say, Aries wanted to ask the fans if they wanted to see his knee drop in slow motion. Well, the fans got to see Samoa Joe on high speed.
Oh, the Lord fails Aries.
Not just high speed, but high impact.
My God. 270-some pounds. Uh-oh. Look out.
Samoa Joe just took my chair.
Time for a little face wash action. I'm getting out of the way. I'm not going to risk it, dude. Samoa Joe's going to make a beeline for Aries.
I am staying the hell out of his way.
Joe coming all the way back here by last position. Ready to unleash some furious Ole face wash kicks to Austin. Oh, Aries out of the way. Aries able to duck out of the way.
That's what Aries needed to do. He needs to keep Joe scouted. He knows what Joe does. He's got to keep it in mind.
And that's Joe falling for something that fell for a moment ago. And that's taking a little bit too much time. And speaking of which, too much time to get in the ring. And Aries made him pay.
Mommy daddy button, that'll slow him down.
Point of the elbow to the head. And even though he's Samoan, that did do some damage. Is he going to slam the Samoan submission machine? Good luck on that one, buddy. Not a sound strategy. Aries does not follow in the game plan he used to beat Samoa Joe at Ring of Honor's Final Battle 2004.
Huge leaping back rake.
Our forearm shot to the spine. And here comes that pendulum elbow. Aries likes to pull out. Drops him in the small of the back. Two and a kick out. Now buries the knee into the back and wrenches back on that neck.
That's the thing about Aries in recent months, Joe. He's added style to his substance.
Absolutely has.
Flamboyant first 1PW champion.
But Aries takes out the knee.
There we go.
That's what you gotta do. You gotta cut out the vertical base of a big man.
That's the thinking.
Aries is on the ball now. If he can stay focused, he has a big shot at winning this matchup.
Get Joe down and keep him down. Choking him out using the ropes.
Just drops him across that top ring cable, slightly tightly enforced. Gonna spring in here. Twisting crossbody into the cover. Samoa Joe kicks out. Springing again. Wow. Cabana. Two. Joe kicks out of that as well.
Completely out of nowhere. I'd take my chair back, Joe, but what if Samoa Joe tries to use it again?
Yeah, I don't think you should risk it.
He'd kill me. That chair is his property now.
Camel clutch by Aries. Got the big man below him here. But how long can it last? Aries trying to ride. All 205 pounds on top of the Samoan.
Oh, no, look.
But Joe starts to bridge out.
Burridge out, he starts to stand up.
Drops him, and not only does Aries have to deal with the impact, he has to worry about all of Joe's weight on top of him. Man up to a vertical base, albeit slowly. Exchanging shots in the center of the ring. Neither man budging much. Hard forearm uppercut, making a pair. I think Joe's surprised at how long Aries has stayed on his feet. Georgie hits a power slam. Rapid fire, snaps it off, or no. Almost a count of three.
Joe staying on offense.
Powerbomb! All that impact behind it, and turns it right into a high elevation variation of a Boston Crab. My God.
Oh, leaning way back.
And Aries didn't tap out, now into a crossface. We've got to admire Aries' perseverance. He knows the stakes, he knows what's on the line. And Aries trying to slip his face out of that clutch, but and also
smartly makes his way back, inches his way back, gets that foot on the ropes, Joe, makes the escape. The important thing there was to make the escape any way possible.
Joe with a handful of hair has something in mind here for Austin Aries. Series of quick jabs and chops in the corner. The machine unleashing. Whips him in. Running knee strike in the corner.
Oh, he set him up for it, Joe. You know what?
Muscle buster. No, Aries is biting him. Biting his way out of the muscle buster. Now going to go high risk off the top. Springboard drop kick catches the big man high, but can't take him off his feet. Oh! A second one. Drops the big man. Aries has his chance now.
He got his boots stuck in Samoa Joe's neck.
Unbelievable impact. And look at the look on Samoa Joe's face, dazed and confused.
This look a little like Matthew McConaughey.
Going for a suplex, the second mistake in this match of Austin Aries. Not going to have an easy tap, elevating the big man. God. Stiff slaps. There, need an explanation. Wait. Crucifix bomb. Aries has it here. Is he going to pin Joe again? No.
Aries cannot believe this. I can't believe it.
Oh, Aries got to finish him off.
This is it.
It is time for the famed 450 splash. The elevation on the enziguri kick by Joe.
Oh, he's got him! Joey's got him hooked!
Muscle buster! Drops him! Is this it? Coquina clutch! That choke sleeper! The coquina clutch! That's it! That is it! Aries taps! This match is over.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest, and advancing to the semi-final round of the 1PW title tournament, the submission machine, Samoa Joe.
You already know, Niggas know we champions in here. We took it from crack to rap. Now they put out 2 anthems a year. And practice with a lot for the century. We chase the book of the documentary. If you can't do nothing under the flow, life's a bitch when I write it from home. Let's go, no money, put your heart in it out. Fuck God.
Introducing first, from the Iron City, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, weighing at 220 pounds, SJK, Sturgeon, James, his opponent, from Gainesville, Georgia, weighing at 210 pounds, the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Once again at a fever pitch as we have our final quarterfinal round matchup of 1PW All or Nothing. Bell is sounded. Final quarterfinal round match is Sterling James Keenan against the phenomenal AJ Styles, unquestionably one of the odds-on favorites. If you're hard-pressed, I know you're hard-pressed to do it, but if you're pressured to pick a favorite, AJ's got to be one of them.
Sterling James Keenan came here in October, unfamiliar to most of these fans, and they have taken notice of him, not just for his control over the Monster Abyss, but also for his own actions in the ring. Beating D'Lo Brown, beating Herman, beating Sabu in a tag match. Sterling James Keenan is bound for glory, bound for greatness. Is this the first step? Is beating AJ Styles, moving on to the second round, possibly winning? Is he going to win the 1PW World Title Tournament?
He very well could. I mean, look at the mental control he has over the Monster Abyss so far. You know Sterling James Keenan is a calculated master of psychology in there, and will definitely use that to his advantage at any time he feels he needs to, including against AJ Styles. Not the first time these two men have crossed paths in 1PW. Sterling getting involved in a matchup with Abyss back in a cruel twist of fate. Bad blood still stemming from that leading up into this match, but what about the winner? The winner has to face Samoa Joe in round 2. Would you be looking forward to that?
Why would you? Why would you look forward to standing in the middle of a street while a Mack truck runs you over?
It will be Abyss versus Christopher Daniels in just a few moments. But right now we're focusing on who will meet Samoa Joe in the second round of the All or Nothing Championship Tournament. Deep arm jab down. and tightly clasping onto that armbar is AJ Styles.
Styles firmly in control here. Do you think Keenan might be intimidated by Styles in this setting?
Sterling reaches his feet, however. Right hands to the jaw. Charging in. Leapfrogging. Sterling knows the setup. Leapfrog. Drop kick. Sterling went head first into the barrier. Correct me if I'm wrong, but does AJ have a busted nose or a busted lip?
Busted lip at least. No, that's from the nose.
And that's a hard kick right to the spine. A phenomenal AJ Styles. He may have a broken nose here. He's heavily favoring that.
Not quite sure where in the match that happened, but blood slowly trickling down from the nose. A distraction.
Could have been one of those sharp jabs to the face from Sterling that might have done it. AJ gonna send him in. Elevates him into a hard backbreaker. Cover. Doing a kick out.
That really is. I think you're right, Joe. I think that is broken. That is really bothering Styles. He keeps touching at his nose, grabbing it like his sinuses are blocked.
Look out. And Sterling sent hard into that corner. Look out. Delayed suplex. Beautifully done. 2. Kick out.
Styles always very intense, gritting his teeth right now. I think he might be having trouble breathing through his nose. If he ends up having to breathe through his mouth this early. Oh my God.
Series of shots by the phenomenal one now. Despite being clearly hindered by that nose in the early going, Styles able to refocus his efforts and stay on top of Sterling. Look out. Right up and over the referee. Mule below the belt. Referee never saw it.
Turns it inside out with the clothesline.
Lateral press. 2 and a kick out.
Remsburg cowering for his life in between the ropes. Had absolutely no way seeing the mule kick. Maybe I shouldn't say that so loud. I don't want him to hear us.
Well, hey, if you can't call it, you can't see it. Or if you can't see it, you can't call it, I should say.
Sterling taking time. Talk a little smack on Styles.
Sends him in hard. Jumping back elbow. AJ, no choice. Right into it, nowhere to go. Goes for that cover. AJ kicks up, but not a lot of luster behind that kick out, Kingdom.
Joe, Dr. Kingdom's diagnosis is broken nose. Blood is not stopping. And it is bothering Styles. You can see
it to be fatal for Styles.
Absolutely.
This early on to suffer an injury that important to your endurance and your senses.
Double underhook submission.
Sterling could go a lot of ways from this. All right, second one. AJ goes to the breadbasket.
Oh, right in the jaw.
Look out. Oh, Sterling puts Bryce Remsburg in the way of AJ.
Twice now, Bryce Remsburg is given opportunity to switch momentum in this match.
You want to talk about using your surroundings to the best of your ability. Wait a second, here comes the Helter Skelter. And look at the arch on AJ's back. Only has 5 seconds to apply it before it becomes illegal and a disqualification.
Smart move by Keenan though, using those 5 seconds to wear AJ down even further. If he's having trouble breathing through that nose, if he's mouth breathing now, then he doesn't have any other way to get oxygen into his lungs.
You can tell it did its damage in just those 4.5 seconds it was applied.
Choke him out.
And certainly that's going to hurt the breathing even more of AJ Styles as time goes on. But right now AJ gets the foot up, but Sterling catches him and drops him with a spinebuster too. Kick out by AJ and Sterling, audibly disappointed that he did not get the 3 count.
AJ Styles' blood staining the attire of Sterling James Keenan. Keenan growing more intense as the match continues.
Setting him up. No, right for the standard chin lock.
For the huge rear chin lock.
Sterling with a bait and switch there, keeping AJ on his toe. Guessing. It was already woozy.
Not enough to beat up AJ Styles. Sterling James Keenan is looking to tick off every single AJ Styles fan in this building.
And he's going to love doing it. Sterling doesn't just want to win, he wants to win in style. And it's AJ with the back elbows to back Sterling up into the ropes. Gotta wonder, Kingdom, at this point, we have the potential to possibly see a Sterling James Keenan Abyss final. What would that say to us? We saw Sterling and Abyss have a little altercation, no turning back. What would happen? Would somebody lie down? Would we see the end of the alliance?
I'll tell you what.
Wait a second. Springs in with the forearm. Oh! Desperation move by AJ.
Desperation, but highly effective. Keenan is dazed.
Oh, and you can hear that right. Second one connects right to the top of the cranium. Ducks the third, but gets drilled with a DDT. 2. Sterling gets that shoulder up. Would you consider this Sterling James Keenan's toughest test today here at 1PW?
Absolutely.
And he's definitely holding his own.
Not just for the opponent, but also for what is at stake.
Wait a second. Backcracker.
Oh my God.
Ring positioning saved AJ's life right there.
Too close to the ropes. His foot draped to the bottom rope.
Either over or under it, but still enough to cause the cover to be no. And that took too much time.
And that was a result of the impact of the move itself. I don't think Styles even knew where he was to put his leg over the rope.
If it wasn't for that ring positioning, I think AJ Styles would be eliminated from this tournament as we speak. Look out, fireman's carry. Gonna drop him here. No, took too much time. AJ counters. Roll up. But no. Sterling able to roll over. Here's a pinning attempt. AJ kicks out. Stomping into Gurry kick. Sterling gets wiped out. Never saw it coming.
Well, Styles tried to fight the pin attempt. Sterling never got it the way he wanted. He was able to throw him off. Recover before Keenan could. And plant some shoe leather firmly into his skull.
Let's go, AJ! Let's go, AJ! Let's go, AJ!
What's he going for? Is he going for the Clash?
Looks like he is.
Styles wants to end this. If he's going for the Clash, no, he has to move away from it.
Absolutely. Sterling got that ring positioning in mind. Reversal of the whip. Oh my God, what a kick. Oh, connecting perfectly. Styles Clash. Styles Clash. My God.
Oh my God, I think Sterling James Keenan is dead.
Sterling gets dropped with authority. I'm having flashbacks to Frankie Kazarian on the pay-per-view.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the holder, advancing to the semifinal round. Angels, weighing 218 pounds, the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels.
Second time tonight. The Fallen Angels chants are almost deafening here in the Doncaster Dome as we start our semi-final round matchup. Can Daniel slay the Monster Abyss on his road to the 1PW Championship? Joe Dombrowski and Anthony Kingdom James at ringside, bringing you all the exciting 1PW action.
And if you're watching on DVD, welcome to Disc 2.
There we go. Abyss stuck in the clothesline as Daniels fires off those sharp right hands to start the contest out. Quick roll up trying to catch the monster off guard too, and a kick out.
Great attempt by Daniels there. Absolutely, Joe. Try and catch them up. Or try and get a quick win. If you can, you save yourself maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes of punishment en road to what you still hope is a victory, but might not be.
But check out that muscle of the Monster Abyss. Daniels firing off jab after jab, but one wild swing by Abyss takes Daniels down, and he still hasn't gotten back to his feet.
Well, he gets held back to his feet and whipped into the ropes, Joe.
With a ride up and over. Daniels counters over with a Hurricane Rana. Fallen Angel charges in, cross body.
Oh, he's caught.
Monster catches him and drops him with a hard slam. This is the first ever meeting between the Monster Abyss and Christopher Daniels.
And so far, it is not going very well for the Fallen Angel.
Hard slam by Abyss. Another important point we should bring up here. Sterling James Keenan out at ringside again. Obviously, he's got to be feeling the pain after landing on his neck after that Styles clash, but how is Abyss going to cope with his leadership and the man who's led him through 1PW battles time after time after time, not at ringside?
I'm not even sure Sterling is in the building right now. I know during intermission, he was receiving medical attention. There were very serious concerns about his neck. And he, for his own good, he might be over. Oh my God! Guardrail. Daniels bends the guardrail.
If I'm Chris Daniels, I do not want to take this matchup to the outside of the ring. This is where Abyss thrives the most.
Daniels using Abyss to pull himself back to his feet.
Daniels sent. Wow. That guardrail again.
The guardrail's the only thing that kept him from landing squarely in the laps of the front row.
And that's the force of 350 pounds.
Just kicking at him, just towing him with his boot.
He's toying with him.
He's dead.
Just measuring his opponent here.
Now back into the ring. Abyss knows he might be a monster, but he knows that this match has to be won in the ring.
Lateral press. Kick out. fist. He's telling Daniels to get back to his feet, knowing the fight in the Fallen Angel, you do not want to do that. Series of elbows to the midsection, but again, just one clubbing blow sends Daniels doubled over in pain.
Well, if anything has been a signature of Christopher Daniels' wrestling career, it's been resiliency, the ability to come back from a beating and persevere. But I mean, look at the mountain of a man he's up against.
Hard right to Daniels. A second one takes him down. And Abyss just measuring him, just punching him out.
And he does the log walk on him.
And Abyss doesn't know how to react. He's hearing two conflicting chants here.
And who knows what the voices in his head are saying?
I think these fans are confusing Abyss. Abyss has a tunnel vision. Scoops him up. Side slam coming. Drops him down.
Squarely on the small of the back in the center of the ring.
And a kick out.
And just as much as the impact of that side slam, Daniels injures himself more, hurts himself more, causes himself more pain with having to kick out from a pinfall attempt by a man 350 pounds.
Absolutely right. And now Abyss just cinching on that pressure to the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels.
Rear chin lock.
Look at the size of those hands coming across Daniels' facial features. Daniels fights up to the vertical base, however. Elbows out of it. Series of shots. It takes so much to break the grasp, but Abyss caught it. No, Daniels, beautiful counter. Head scissor, roll through. Three, no.
Can't hold him down. Huge forearm.
Daniels almost did the impossible. Abyss down for three. Forearm strikes. Daniels charges, clothesline. A second time. Huge boot to the Fallen Angel.
Daniels first hitting those back elbows, then those forearm smashes with machine-like precision, but it's still not enough to get Abyss down. And now Daniels finds himself exactly where he doesn't want to be, flat on the canvas.
That's connected right in Daniels' sternum. Abyss once again being thrown off by these dueling chants. Abyss not used to having any type of percentage of the crowd in his favor. Seems to me that without Sterling James Kim by his side, Abyss is just slightly less hateable.
Maybe that's what it is that Keenan does, keep him focused, keep him from being distracted by things he doesn't like or things he doesn't understand.
Whatever Sterling's put in his head, you have to admit it has worked to perfection so far. Just continue to wear away at the forehead of Daniels. He's going to give the man a concussion. Come on, get in there, referee.
Why should the referee get in there?
A close is illegal last time I checked. Much less repeated closed fist, much less when Daniels is in the ropes.
So have you ever been in a match, much less a match with a world title on the line?
I don't need to be in a match to understand the rules.
You need to be in a match to understand the emotion. And both of these guys are going to go all out, are going to risk whatever they have to risk to advance and to get a shot, a chance in that final match at the 1PW World Title.
I can understand the emotion. I can understand the pain Danielson just snapped off of that top turnbuckle when he hit it.
You don't understand anything about emotion, Joe.
Oh, stop it.
You're a robot.
Into the far buckle goes Daniels. Charging in. Abyss misses. Took too much time. Daniels with the knee. Abyss once again to the outside, but this cannot be a good move.
Daniels is going to fly.
Tope con hilo. Lands on top of the big man. Finds a way to take him down.
And the guardrail holds Chris Daniels up. Spent from the of that attack.
Daniels has had so much taken out of him. He may have a concussion after all those right hands, but he's feeling momentum right now. The adrenaline pumping through his veins thanks to these 1,700 Doncaster fans selling out the Dome to see the crowning of the first 1PW World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, I forgot to mention another big sellout here in Doncaster.
Cover attempt. Daniels, no. Daniels gets another near fall, and Abyss is getting more angry as time goes on. But Daniels gonna go for that vertical base. Those stiff kicks right to the thigh, and out on the knee. Daniels gonna follow through. Enziguri kick, the monster's down. This is Daniels' chance. Daniels' opportunity.
No. Kick out by Abyss.
Not a lot of muscle behind the as compared to some kickouts we've seen in the past from the monster. Abyss just puts on the brakes. Sends him in. Daniels gets the boot. Oh no, Daniels went high risk. Abyss goozled him.
Choke slam.
We're gonna see it. No, Daniels
Escapes.
out of the grasp. Flatline. Abyss got dropped right at the top of his head. And Abyss may not know where he is now.
Oh. BME, Joe.
Looks like we're gonna see it. Best moonsault ever. Double spring. Drops him down.
Nails it.
No more. Daniels steals the easy high risk a second time. 2 BME. Does he have it? No.
Here's with the way. Chris Daniels flabbergasted.
Imagine how tough it is to kick out 1 BME, much less 2 in succession. And the fans think the third might be the charm.
Oh my God.
He can't do this.
How is he gonna hook Angel's wings on Abyss?
Angel's wing, he's 350. He's 350.
Abyss fighting it.
Too much weight. Too much weight underneath him. He can't keep his footing to get the hold off.
Big back body drop.
Abyss just outpowered him. The monster, oh, look out, going for the shock treatment.
Oh no, if he hits this, it's over.
Backbreaker coming up. Gonna drive him down.
That's it, Joe. That's it. Abyss is going to the finals. That's the end of it.
Daniels, is he gonna possibly get up from this? He's done. Abyss, 2 down, 1 to go. Abyss takes care of the foundation of Christopher Daniels in their first ever meeting, and he's just 1 match away from possibly becoming our first champion.
racing for Spud, Huntington Beach, California, is the current reigning champion of the world, and promoted submission machine.
Let's go, don't make me put your heart in your lap.
And his opponent, hailing from Gainesville, Georgia, the phenomenal AJ
We are set for semifinal round action. AJ Styles going one-on-one with Samoa Joe. And this is a matchup that we didn't necessarily expect to see. It wasn't advertised, but by God, it could steal the whole show.
This isn't the first time they've met, obviously, and this is going to be a barn burner.
And in recent times, we've seen AJ Styles wrestle Samoa Joe in several high-profile matches, but the one ongoing story has been AJ Styles has yet to find a way to beat the Samoan submission machine. AJ has been trying for months, but cannot slay the submission machine. Will tonight be his night? If not, his hopes of a championship reign are done.
Well, I don't know how happy I'd be if I were either one of these guys. Knowing that even if you win this match, you have to go on to face Abyss tonight.
And the effort that's going to lead to winning this matchup is going to be extraordinary. We know that. Joe tried to counter the dropkick, but AJ was waiting for him. Joe gets dropped. And that's the experience Joe has learned from facing Samoa Joe. Many times AJ has learned just to be one step ahead of the Samoan submission machine. Now charging with those shoulder blocks in the corner. Snap mare. And AJ nails him with a stop, charging in. Extra run of momentum before he hits the big knee. A staple of AJ Styles' offense. And AJ, look at the... Oh, only a count of one. And you can see the effort it took AJ to just roll Joe over. That's about 270, 280 in there.
Might be a little more than that, Joe.
Very well could be. Forearm shot. Oh, AJ, we saw Austin Aries make this mistake earlier. Vertical suplex, inside cradle, inside, no. AJ almost snuck one in on Joe. A sharp kick right to the spine. AJ and Joe have had some of the most physical matches I think I've ever seen. The rivalry extends professionally, extends personally in recent months.
And we've seen both of these guys over the last few years, Joe. With our own eyes, we've called matches with these guys, different opponents, where they have just brutalized their opponents. They have sacrificed their own bodies, and you know they're both going to be willing to do that here.
Absolutely. AJ ducks the clothesline, however, AJ gonna charge in. Joe beats him at the pass, slams him down.
Holy.
All force, using all of AJ's momentum against him, reeling back and dropping him down. Remember, Samoa Joe in recent months has been carrying around a towel, which he's been threatening to paint with AJ Styles' blood.
Listen to the saucy language out of our Doncaster faithful here.
But they're into this match, and that kick sends AJ spiraling back towards the ring apron. So much behind that.
Mike Vanderjack wishes he could kick that well.
Into the buckle, AJ goes charging through. Running knee strike to the jaw. And it's time for some face wash action. Joe charges in.
Merry Christmas, have a boot.
AJ Styles, much like Daniels in the previous match, may be totally dazed right now. So many shots in the head and face area. And Joe taking this opportunity to slow the pace down and control the offense. Oh no, look out! Oh my God!
For the love of God, Joe Dombrowski! What did I just see?
Joe just vaulted AJ off the apron with his foot. AJ landed right into that guardrail.
I've seen some I don't know if I can finish the sentence without swearing, Joe, but I've seen some stuff in my time.
Absolutely.
But I don't think I've ever seen a man kicked as hard as I just saw AJ Styles kick. And I ain't joking. I ain't saying that because it sounds good. I'm saying that because I think AJ Styles.
Joe's gonna fly. Tope, Joe puts on the brakes. AJ right behind him. Connects with a tope cut. Hero. All air, no ropes, body spread for impact.
Wow. People are going to think wow is my catchphrase, Joe, because I say it so much. Watch 1PW shows.
AJ with that forearm shot to Samoa Joe. And sends it right into that barricade, just like that. That's what it's going to take for AJ. He's going to have to fly to keep this matchup even. Oh, look out. Joe reverses AJ up and over. But Joe meets him with another lethal kick.
Styles able to avoid one form of damage while taking another.
Oh no. Joe's got that chair set up in the corner. Uh-oh. Hard kick.
Thank God it's not our direction.
Yes. But not good for AJ. Not good for AJ. Look out!
He just shattered the ringside barrier with AJ Styles' head.
My God! All the way to that leg, vaulting his head into the guardrail. Look at the result. Look at the bend on that steel guardrail.
It's still steel, but it ain't a guardrail anymore, Joe.
There is no possible way AJ Styles cannot have a concussion. Oh. We used this word earlier, we're going to break it out again. That's instinct right there.
Oh, absolutely. That's instinct defeating self-preservation.
My God. Cinching in. Notice Samoa Joe's arm right around the nose of AJ Styles, cutting off the man's breathing, cutting off his oxygen intake. And I'll tell you this, AJ having to fight for his life to get back to the vertical base. He's got 270 some odd pounds on him. AJ able to break the hold, but Joe scoops up with a Manhattan drop. Charging through with a flying kick. Flattens him with a senton. Joe files. AJ kicks out. What a matchup Samoa Joe versus Abyss would be. But consequently, what about an AJ Styles Abyss rematch from our Cruel Twist of Fate event last October, if AJ's even got enough in him to continue? And the fans showing their appreciation as well. Oh, AJ's out of it. AJ can't stand on his own right now. Wait a second. Powerbomb. A little too much behind it. AJ with a counter. Up and over. Jackknife, no. No. He can't clash him. Joe with a sharp kick to the head. Pele! AJ saw Joe coming. Buried him with the Pele. Right into the skull. And AJ has precious moments to come back. AJ has time to fight. Oh, AJ wobbly legged. AJ's equilibrium is shot, but he's still fighting on. Kingdom James and Joe Dombrowski bringing you the action. AJ hits the phenomenon right on the back of the head. Do we have 3, 2, Joe? No. Joe kicks out again. My God, I just cannot believe. I've seen it before on television and pay-per-view, but I've never seen Joe and AJ like this with my own eyes. The brutality and the intensity, you have to be here live to experience it. And Joe, oh no, that's AJ placed. Very precarious predicament. Oh. It's karate-style chops, right to the side of the neck. Right in the nerves.
He's fighting him off, Joe.
Oh, what's AJ gonna do? Counters. Look out. Power bomb. No, Joe and Herman Rana.
Where did he get that from?
I can't believe it. Rana. Good God.
That's it. That's gotta be it.
What a lariat. He's done. What?
That is the most... I've never seen anything on Samoa Joe's face but anger and smiles. That's confusion. The first time I've ever seen confusion on the face of Samoa Joe.
AJ Styles suppressed the hell out of me over the past 3 years, but never have I seen a fight and an effort like we're seeing tonight from him. That shows you the stakes of this title. That shows you what's on the line. AJ, he's glass-eyed, has no idea where he is, and can't stand on his own power, but he's still gonna fight, damn it.
Glass-eyed? He's glass-eyed, fish-eyed, cock-eyed, and dead-eyed. I don't think AJ Styles knows where he is anymore.
And Joe's ready for the kill.
And I was saying earlier, it's instinct over self-preservation. If AJ Styles were fully conscious, he would get the hell out of this ring before he died.
He's too proud to do that, Kingdom. And look at AJ, split open on 2 different areas. The nose, I believe, has been rebusted, and he's bleeding just above his left eyebrow. Look at the boy from AJ.
Where's he getting this from?
Look at AJ fight back. He's beating Joe in physicality. Discus, counter with a Hamrick jab. Listen to it. Listen to those shots. It's a Curry. Back of the head. But Joe doesn't go down. Joe's still up.
Oh my God.
Spin kick to the temple. That's going to knock him down.
He's setting him up. You know what he's going for, Joe.
Look out. Could be the spiral tap. He beat Jarrett to qualify like this. Spiral tap. AJ in the finals. AJ's in the finals. got to face 6'8", 350. Oh, it's not going to be enough left of AJ Styles. Can AJ Styles fight to adversity, pull it all off, and become the champion?
Tonight, Christian Cage in Doncaster. 1PW. All or nothing. It's me and you in that ring. I came to England to win. And I'm gonna finish you off with a gore.
Ladies and gentlemen, this following contest is scheduled for one fall. Make his way towards the ring for Detroit, weighs in at 271 pounds, the War Machine, Burridge. it's all business. You know, normally I've been sitting here calling you a wanker. Well, come to think of it, after that move right there, you are a wanker. I gotta tell you something. My peeps came here for one reason, and it's no disrespect to you. That is to see the brand new NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And why is that? Why is that? Because that's how I roll.
You know, I can't disagree with you, Christian Cage. The people did come to see you. But they also came here to see me kick your ass. And there you are! Go! Go!
Circles Christian Cage. Rhino, about 6'2", 6'3", 275 pounds. Has the power advantage and the weight advantage. Perhaps a height advantage, although Christian Cage very close to him in that regard. Both men have been allies as of late. Many places they've gone. However, here it is all about impressing 1PW management. It's all about the quest for them to eventually get that shot at the 1PW Heavyweight Championship, and that's where this contest is going to determine who is more worthy of perhaps wearing 1PW gold.
Well, you talk about them being allies of late. This friendship, as I said, goes back to the mid-90s. Detroit, Michigan. I mentioned Malcolm Monroe Sr. The promotion was called Insane Championship Wrestling. The faction was called Thug Life. Christian Cage, Rhino, Joe E. Legend, and a man by the name of Sexton Hardcastle, now known as Edge. There were of us around. I was in that group, Bill Scully was in that group, but that before, look at what they've done.
And look at what Rhino's done, slapping the taste out of Christian Cage's mouth, and Captain Charisma returns the favor. Side headlock by Rhino. Shoots it off. Duck underneath. The big man flying over there, leapfrog by Christian Cage, stuck on the coastline. Shoulder tackle, a man beast, barrels down the world champion.
Remember, Joe, just because we're friends doesn't mean we can't kick the crap out of each other.
Oh yeah, there's first, through and through. They've been on the same side of the ring together, they've been on opposite sides of the ring together, and that's where they find themselves once again. Look at Rhino already measuring Christian just moments into this contest.
Well, why shouldn't he measure him? If he hits that gore right this very second, this match would be over. Quick payday, nothing like going home early.
And that's why Christian has his eyes in the back of his head. He's got one eye on Rhino at all times.
Oh. Few people in this crowd trying to take the mick out of Christian Cage.
Well, crowd noticeably split here. Rhino's had his core group of fans for many, many years, as has Christian. Keep in mind, Rhino has held the belt Christian Cage is currently wearing, that NWA title.
That's true, former champion against current champion.
This is not about the NWA title tonight. It's about personal pride. It's about personal glory. And Rhino exploding onto Christian Cage right now. Flurry of rights. Now going to work on that left arm.
Fighting him.
Irish whip. There's a reversal. Hip lock, but 275 of Rhino, very well grounded, able to counter that. Oh, wow. Rhino elevates Cage. Look out, Unprettier. Cage hitting over the Unprettier. Rhino pushes him off. But walks right into the boot from Christian Cage. Oh, and over Rhino ducks down perfectly. Hits that drop.
He's got him measured. He's got him measured.
Time for the door. God, no.
He's got him measured. He just got him scouted.
Cage getting out of dodge. Can't say that I blame him, Christian Cage. If he takes that gore, this matchup is over.
You don't know a man that well for that long in this business and not sense it.
Uh-oh. Rhino has grabbed a chair from ringside, and this is getting personal pretty quick. Forget the spirit of competition. Oh, wait a second. Jesus.
He's trying to take our table. They're asking each other. They're asking each other if this is going to go hardcore.
I think Christian wins that battle.
I told you. I told you, Dombrowski. These men met in a promotion in Detroit, Michigan called Insane Championship Wrestling.
We're talking about insane. We can't go an hour without getting our table turned over.
Table turned over, water kicked at you.
I've been soaked. I've been kicked out of my chair. Someone caught that microphone. It's been a bad night for me.
Samoa Joe stole both our chairs at some point tonight.
Right. We can't get a chair anywhere else. We are sold out to the rafters in the Doncaster Dome, 1,700 strong, to witness in part this very matchup.
Oh, wow. They went outside. You know what that means. That means at some point soon we're going to have to get the hell out of here.
And this plays right into Rhino's element. You heard this crowd chanting ECW a few moments ago. Of course, Rhino also a former ECW World Heavyweight Champion.
The very last ECW Heavyweight Champion.
Rhino takes Cage into the ring. Got to wonder the mindset of both individuals right now. We've seen traditional wrestling. We've seen them go to the weapons and threaten each other. Is this matchup a little bit more personal? Tough to tell at this point. But Rhino drills him with that trademark spinebuster. Over the lateral press, deep hook. 2 and a kick out.
This match has already taken a lot of both guys. They went at it fast and furious right from the opening bell.
Now Rhino draping Christian Cage's throat right across that second ring rope. Right into the windpipe. I think the crowd might be slightly more in favor of Christian Cage at this point as opposed to Rhino. Rhino looking to elevate him. Drops him sternum first across that turnbuckle. Not a lot of protection there. Goes for the roll-up and gets a count of 2.
That maneuver in the corner. In Pittsburgh, they'd say that's the golden touch.
The Midas touch.
Here in Doncaster, it's just a head full of scrambled brains.
And it took a lot of Christian Cage. I think that may have taken all the air out of Christian Cage's system. And Rhino going to keep it out now with that chin lock.
The massive arms of Rhino squeeze in the air. Christian able to fire back with the back elbows.
Off the ropes now. Duck of the clothesline by Captain Charisma. Second duck. Christian comes off, gets caught again.
And you're helpless in that position.
Press slam. Drops him right on that sternum and abdomen again. Rhino has picked apart his battle plan. And there's a shoulder up at the count of 2. Rhino knows just where to focus now. He's weakened the part of the body.
Wasting time here, complaining to the ref. He's got to stay on Christian Cage. Rhino's the man with something to prove in this match. Christian Cage is the world champion, and he's got a shot at the 1PW world title tomorrow night.
And how hungry is Rhino, looking for shots at them both? Still trying to drive that air continually out of the system of Captain Charisma. Now laying him totally horizontal with that chin lock. Absolutely no leverage for Christian Cage to try to battle back. This is where this hold is at its most dangerous, on the ground.
Yeah, and from that position, we got an unflattering look at referee Robert Pisker.
Can't be in the right place all the time. But Christian Cage, Major's elbows.
Kid's so skinny he doesn't even have an ass. Legs that run up into his back.
Will you be serious?
Poops out of his belly button.
Out of his belly button. Robert Pisker administering the obligatory 10 count. If neither man can answer the count, this will end in a draw. Both men have had a tremendous toll taken out of them, especially Christian Cage at this point. He's having trouble intaking oxygen.
Both men starting to stir.
Well, it's do or die right now. They have 1 second to get back up. And both men almost simultaneously arrive to the vertical base, and Christian Cage able to get the first right hands in. The right reversal by Rhino.
Full head of steam by Cage.
That's what he's got to do. Hit and run technique to knock the big man down. Knife edge chop to Rhino. It's a handful of neck. But Cage goes to the eyes. Look out. Inverted knee. Off the second rope. Goes for the cover. Cage with a count of 2. And the frustration starting to set in for Christian Cage as well. Cage certainly wants to come out on the upper hand here for all of his peeps. The Christian Coalition coming out strong in Doncaster to see Christian Cage. But Rhino not going to make it easy for him at all. Series of right hands exchanged. Irish whip now by Cage. But Rhino hits him with a clothesline. And just like that, the man beast back on the offensive.
Huge impact, which is exactly what you'd expect from Rhino into the corner.
We'll just wait for him. Hooks him. Belly to belly suplex. Rhino going for the cover. A move Rhino's been perfecting. Near fall there. 2.5 by Pisker. And Christian certainly having a lot of problems here. Not just with his oxygen, with his offense, with everything.
The impact in the corner just now. Busting the turnbuckle, the middle turnbuckle here.
Unbelievable. That shows you the force that Rhino collided with Christian Cage. That turnbuckle is literally hanging off the
Gore! 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 He hit it! That's it!
Cover 2. No! Cage kicked out of the door. How he did that with Rhino focusing all his offense on that midsection and then going him into oblivion. Somehow Christian Cage is still alive.
I said it earlier in this match, Rhino's got to stay on him. This is the opportunity. How is Christian Cage back after the gore?
Hard close on hanging on to him, says he only worked. Oh! And prayer! On prayer! Does he have enough to get the cover? Does he have enough for the pin? Count 2. No!
He kicked up prettier.
How in the world did Rhino survive the unprettier?
How in the world did Christian Cage survive the gore?
Both moves that have won world titles in recent months.
Is Cage is climbing the turnbuckles.
Oh my, high risk this late in the match might be dangerous. Rhino able to trip him up. Crotches him on that rope.
What's he going to do with him in this prone position?
Very precariously perched. Christian Cage. Let's go for a belly-to-belly off the top. Biting him right in the face. My gosh. Both men fighting. Oh, and Rhino gets the worst of the impact.
And Christian's still up on the ropes.
Look out. High risk. Frog splash. Oh, no. No water in the pool. Rhino out of the way. Oh, no. Can we see it, Kingdom?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How's he going to survive a second one?
He's got him measured. He might rip the whole corner off this time.
Look out! Cage sidesteps. On prayer. On prayer. Hook. 2, 3. Wins it.
Here is your winner, Christian Cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, before our final contest this evening, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you
the esteemed chairman of the board and promoter of 1PW, Mr. Stephen Godman.
So stop it. I just wanted to thank everybody for coming tonight and supporting 1PW. I could do this all night now. Now I want to thank everybody for coming. This is our dream, and we're really happy to share it with you. You guys are 1PW. Thank you for making this possible. You guys rock. See ya.
And so the following contest is the finals of the 1PW Heavyweight Championship Tournament.
This is the moment that's been in the making ever since October 1st with our debut show. We will crown our first 1PW World Heavyweight Champion. Joe Dombrowski, Kingdom James, bringing you the historic finals of this tournament.
This is what it's all been headed towards, Joe. This is the culmination of everything that 1PW has trying to build here in the UK and around the world. The crowning of a new World Heavyweight Champion.
And let's retrace the paths. Both men led on the way to this matchup. It was the Monster Abyss defeating Sabu, Darren Burridge, and Christopher Daniels to get this far. AJ with victories over Jeff Jarrett, Sterling James Keenan, who's lurking at ringside auspiciously, as well as that victory over Samoa Joe. I still have no idea how AJ was able to defeat Samoa Joe, finally pulling one out despite the tremendous injury to AJ Styles' upper body at this point. You see him even now walking, even in his ring entrance, he was favoring his ribs. Collar and elbow tie-up. James.
Holy God! When did AJ Styles learn how to actually flop?
Vaulted him almost effortlessly.
We're in trouble.
Look out. Look out. Getting dangerous fast.
AJ Styles might have trouble walking right now, but he better learn how to run.
And Styles needs to regroup right now. He has to try to walk off the pain as best as he can in this instance. He's trying to outrun Abyss. AJ knows he has the stamina, he has the endurance over the Monster. He's trying to tire him out early while having as minimal pain inflicted on his body as possible. And so far it's working. We've talked about Abyss's tunnel vision. He won't stop until he gets what he wants. And AJ Styles is going to continue to enforce that. And Abyss is tired, look at him. Hands on his legs, Abyss is worn out. Wrestling twice, then sprinting around the ring takes a lot of you when you're in excess of 350 pounds.
Smart strategy on Styles' part. He's thinking, he knows he's not at 100% right now.
Not even close. It's a mere wonder that AJ is still in this match, still in the ring. Springs on the beautiful satellite head scissors on the big man. Rematch for a cool twist of fate, October 1st, our very first live event.
And if history means anything, AJ Styles won that event. AJ Styles, if he can summon up the courage, is going to be the new 1PW World Champion.
But AJ was not hurt October 1st. He's in dire pain right now.
Well, he didn't have to face two other opponents the caliber of Sterling James Keenan and Samoa Joe on October the 1st before meeting Abyss.
Low dropkick connects with Abyss. AJ Styles is the only man, as we see a quick cover count of one, AJ is the only man in 1PW history to defeat the Monster Abyss. He has his number, or so it seems. We will see if that is the case again here tonight.
Look at AJ. AJ already having to reach down deep into the gas tank to keep moving.
Absolutely right.
And don't forget that we don't have a diagnosis on, but we think he has broken his nose. We think he broke his nose in the first match tonight.
Right. And it was bleeding once again in the semifinals, and that's not going to help things. He may have some internal bleeding now. Abyss falls to about 10 feet in the air and just drops him down.
And what goes up must come down, Joe Dombrowski. And right now, AJ Styles is down.
No doubt about that. Sterling James Keenan watching from the outside very intently. Gotta wonder what's gonna happen if Abyss, and that's a big if he wins this contest.
The crowd starting to get on Sterling James Keenan at ringside.
Is Sterling gonna support Abyss's accomplishment here? Or is he gonna get a little cocky and demand it all for himself? He tried that at No Turning Back with mixed results.
Almost got him so chokeslammed for his efforts before he was able to regain control over the Monster.
Gotta wonder, does Sterling have as much control on Abyss's mind as he thinks at this point? Abyss is a very volatile psyche. It does not take much to get him to snap.
Well, remember, Sterling...
Oh, God. Oh, God. Sends him all the way back into the guardrail.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
That guardrail is just about bent in half.
Remember that Sterling James Keenan promised that no matter who won this title, if it was him or Abyss, that the title would end up around Sterling's shoulder. If is Abyss here in this match to win the title for Sterling James Keenan.
Abyss literally grabbed him by the throat and dragged him 10 feet over to the guardrail and just drove him right into it. But regardless of Abyss's intentions, you can definitely see he wants that title more than life itself. We've seen him put his body on the line time and time again.
Fighting on the floor just feet away from us. I wasn't sure what kind of danger we might be in there.
Right.
We've been attacked all night, Joe.
Abyss has him back to the inside, and AJ already gasping for breath. Talked about that nose, we talked about those ribs. How are you supposed to breathe when both areas are so damaged?
And now just hammering away at him.
And they end choking. Clearly, Abyss and or Sterling were watching these earlier matchups of AJ Styles tonight. They know the trick is to keep him from breathing, and they know that's the easiest strategy as well. And look at this.
Well, Sterling's the man who broke the nose. So if you don't think that Sterling told Abyss what to do.
And not only that, AJ damn near broke Sterling's neck earlier tonight.
And you can see Sterling James Keenan at ringside still in obvious pain from taking that Styles clash, landing, almost touching his nose to his chest.
AJ's back just bent like a pretzel for the second time tonight. Uh-oh. Abyss getting ahead of steam into the opposite corner. This is not going to be good for the phenomenal one. Charging in, collides.
That gallop step he makes, and then full bore into AJ Styles.
Press. Abyss was 1 second away from becoming 1PW champion.
Wow. Think about it, Joe. Everything we've been through since October and before, putting 1PW together, helping Stephen Gauntly put 1PW on the map with talent like AJ Styles at Abyss and Sterling James Keenan. Sabu, Raven, Sandman, Tommy Dreamer, Austin Aries,
Bret the Hitman Hart,
Harry Smith, Doug Williams, Johnny Storm, Jody Fleisch,
and more to come. Impact players on their way.
Southern Comfort, Steve Carino, Masato Tanaka, Samoa Joe, all of that over these last few months.
Reversal.
Building to this moment.
Abyss crotches himself. AJ out of the way. This is one of, if not the defining moment in 1PW short history.
Well, maybe not that defining moment.
Specific moment.
I think Abyss would prefer it not be that exact moment.
Right, but you know what I mean. This spectacle, this happening, all comes down to this. AJ with some low kicks. We talked about trying to take the wheels out from the big man, get him horizontal. That's what AJ's doing. Kick after kick. Look out, hard lariat.
Doing whatever he can. You see what his goal is here, to take Abyss down.
Springs off the shoulders. That connects with a hurricane run into Abyss.
The balance of AJ Styles, unparalleled.
Unbelievable. AJ somehow still fighting after all this pain. Wait, reversal. Look out. AJ connects with that drop kick. Recover.
In the ropes.
Launches him. Muscles him all the way out of the ring, but AJ in prime position to take a chance. Look out. No, he grabbed him by the throat out in midair. Drops him. No. AJ went off through. 2, 3, no.
Sterling James Keenan very concerned at ringside. His monster could be in trouble here. In trouble here.
That way, he's got to goose it one more time. Abyss on the comeback.
Oh my God.
Drills him in a choke slam.
Maybe not so much trouble for Abyss, but it's hard times for AJ Styles.
That may have taken everything AJ has left out of the new check. No. Abyss less than a second away.
Do you believe how this fight is going back and forth, Joe?
Well, AJ Styles, win or lose, has shown the mark of a champion. He has not quit. He's not complained. He's not let any injuries. And no, come on.
Sterling James Keenan has just grabbed a steel chair from underneath the ring and handed it
kidding me? All this work, all this sacrifice, all this effort out of AJ Styles, out of 1 p.m. He's gonna come down to a damn chair?
Hey man, if a shortcut gets you home quicker.
Shortcuts. This is not the way you decide a first champion, a respectable champion, a dignified champion.
Hey, Abyss will worry about dignity after he's got the belt around his waist. Right now, he's just trying to win it.
No. Right hand, right to the head. Second one.
Crowd is...
AJ Styles still, again, having trouble standing up. Trying to fight back, but how much do those rights and lefts have behind it at this point? Whips him in, Abyss. Able to cut him off. Oh, midsection, oh no. Oh no, look out. AJ went up and over. AJ sunset flip, and Abyss rolls through. Oh no.
Grabs him by the legs.
Look out. No. Oh, hit first in the chair.
AJ Styles just forgot his social security number.
The chair goes flying, AJ's out. Oh no, shock treatment. Abyss is gonna break the back. It's over.
Abyss even says it's over.
Abyss is the champion. 3. No! Now how? How in the world did AJ kick out?
How far down do you have to reach within yourself to find the intestinal fortitude, to find the guts, to find the balls?
I can't believe how much he has in him.
To kick out after the evening of punishment AJ Styles has endured.
Is AJ Styles even human after this? The onslaught from Joe, the onslaught from Abyss.
You ask if he's human, you might have to be a monster to beat a monster.
Where is AJ Styles' breaking point? For all intents and purposes, he should have been knocked out of this tournament an hour ago. But he's still fighting. And Abyss is pulling out all stops to try to put him away.
On the top rope now, just taking shot after shot and still trying to maintain his balance.
And don't get me wrong, Abyss is taking a lot of punishment too tonight. But AJ has noticeable damages to many parts of his body, at least 3. Oh no, AJ tried to fight off, but Abyss has him.
I'm telling you, it's instinct over self-preservation, Joe.
It's pride, it's courage. It's the competitive spirit, the will to win. And Abyss gets set down hard.
Oh, he's got him.
Look out. Spiral tap. One more time for last win. Abyss kicked out.
He nailed that spinal tap. Dead center on Abyss. And the monster throws AJ Styles off.
A kick out from the spiral tap. I can't recall offhand the last time I've seen that from anybody. AJ's getting fired up. AJ starting to rally back. No. No shock treatment. AJ counters again. No, damn it. He had the foot. Black, oh my God. He had the foot. He had the damn foot.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest, and World Heavyweight Champion, the Monster
Abyss has climbed the mountain. They gotta give it up to AJ Styles for the damn best performance I've seen in my life. But Sterling holds the belt. What's he gonna do with it? What we see? Abyss snatches it from him. Abyss. I wonder if it's setting it. I wonder if he realized it. He is regarded as the best. What? Abyss! Oh my God! It's all Herman! He's got fire! All points Abyss! All points Abyss! He challenged him. Could we see it soon? Could we someday see Abyss
enters the ring from Germany, weighing in at 275 pounds, the hardcore German of Herman. Shabazz, weighing at 225 pounds, and German, Herman. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to begin our afternoon matches here at All or Nothing Weekend. Friendly caution before we get underway. This event does use strobe lighting. Please be cautious as strobe lighting affects you in a negative capacity. Ladies and gentlemen, this opening contest is one fall. Make his way towards the ring, weighing at 168 pounds, Micky. And his opponent, he weighs in at 209.
Special all or nothing afternoon matches here prior to the official beginning of our evening card, where we will crown a world champion in an 8-man single elimination tournament. This is Joe Dombrowski alongside Bryce Remsburg, bringing you Micky L going one-on-one with the double tough Iceman.
Beautiful Saturday afternoon, Doncaster, England. Also making his 1PW debut is the referee Tony Barrett.
Get him out of the building!
We've seen the Iceman before. We know what he's about, but Micky L making his 1PW debut.
Certainly looking to prove to the higher-ups in 1PW that he is befitting of a spot on the roster as well. And that's really what we're going to see through all these afternoon matches, as we see these great young British trying to prove their worth, trying to prove they're willing to step up and become a member of the 1PW roster. You're going to see the hungriest and some of the most talented athletes in the entire United Kingdom here in these special afternoon events.
Absolutely. 6 months, a year from now, you might be seeing these guys competing for the 1PW world title. Who knows? But this is the first look. Micky L getting the crowd in Doncaster behind him.
Centering in the power of Iceman, nearly 300 pounds, outweighing Micky L by well over 100 pounds.
Definitely took low-key to his limit last October.
A cool twist to fate, our very first event here in Doncaster, England. Iceman proved himself as one of the toughest men in the world. Hanging with low-key for 15 plus minutes is something not many men can boast about.
Absolutely.
But Iceman is one of them.
Obviously he proved something to the 1PW higher-ups because he's been a part of just about every show.
You've got to wonder how Micky L feels, having to step into the room with a guy like this. His very first time out in the 1PW, being his very first chance to impress the 1PW board. Colin elbow again.
Micky L already impressed me by coming out to Tony Basil.
That is not going to work for Micky L. Iceman with some charging straight into Iceman and trying to outpower him and trying to move him around. It's not a sound strategy. I believe Micky's starting to realize that.
Iceman jawing with the audience here, perhaps getting inside Micky's head.
Actually, I think he's better looking than your mum. You shut up!
I highly doubt Iceman's intimidated by Micky L. Just keeps running his mouth, and all he's doing is frustrating Micky. Oh, rallying the troops.
Iceman not paying a lot of attention to Micky L so far.
No. Possibly taking him lightly.
Seems to think he has the situation well in hand. Duck underneath. Quick attempt at a standing drop kick. Second time staggers the big man, doesn't take him down.
Didn't get all
running charge, huge boot, and Iceman forced to retreat.
To the floor.
Wait.
Micky may be taken to the air here.
Watch Micky here. Look out. Hurricane run. Oh, yeah, caught. Oh! Micky L caught in midair and vaulted into our steel security rail.
Might have a knockout countout. No, Iceman wants more.
Oh no.
What in the world?
Power bombs him into a flash-like effect on the back of Micky L.
That middle rope was right in his neck.
He's not done either. Look out.
Hooks into the guardrail.
First into that security rail one more time.
You're not jumping out for him, are you?
If the action looks like it's coming your way here in 1PW, it probably is. So get to stepping. Oh, breaking him on the guardrail.
just sliding his face across solid steel.
Apparently that hardcore 24/7 on Iceman's left leg is not a clever phrase.
Very apropos.
Apropos. That's Latin.
Iceman, handful of hair.
Referee needs to get in there, get some control here.
Irish whip into the ropes. Hard lariat.
Left arm, you don't see that every day.
And you can see it in Iceman's eyes. Determined to make a statement at the expense of Mickey L.
Oh, chop. Hard chop. Palm on peck.
We've seen him battle back and forth with low-key blow for blow with those.
One thing they always say about Iceman is he's kind of vanilla. But I disagree.
Vanilla Iceman, get out of here.
How about that?
Will you stop? Face flying out of the wheelbarrow position. Gets a 2 count.
One problem with Iceman, that was a lackadaisical coverage. You gotta hook that leg. I don't care if it's Mickey L or Loki, who you're in there with. The object of every match is a victory. Every match 3 seconds away from being over.
And you can hear those skulls crack as Iceman hitting Mickey over the headbutt and following through with the forearm shots.
Right to the jaw. You heard that crack. Now hooking the tights. Up close and personal for us.
High risk, dangerous position, and Iceman taking his eye off the ball momentarily.
Yes. Pulling it.
Wait a second. Oh, his neck breaker. Legs dangling off that top rope, puts him at a high angle.
Definitely more impact when Mickey L comes crashing down on the canvas.
Already seen Mickey L die?
Iceman looks like he's about ready to polish off his opposition.
Just kind of biding his time.
Well, certainly he's making everyone stand up and take notice that Iceman means business.
Yeah, sending a statement to the rest of the locker room. You know, guys on the main show out here selling autographs, they're watching this match.
Hard into the buckle, 290 pounds of force behind it. Charging through. Look out!
Oh, look at those left arm close. You know what comes next? We've seen this before of Iceman. Former WSW West Side Extreme Wrestling in Germany hardcore champion.
Absolutely right, and we can see why the running knee strike.
Yes.
Followed by cannonball! Rolling senton into the corner.
A belt I believe he dropped to Ian Rotten in January. Goes to show you the kind of caliber hardcore opponents Iceman goes up against. I could be wrong with that. Turnbuckle pad malfunction here in the corner.
Drives him down hard into the cover. 2, gonna get out. Yes, he does.
Contest is scheduled for 1 fall. Introducing first, making his way towards the ring. He weighs in at 196 pounds. And his opponent of the Iron League for Pennsylvania, weighing 220 pounds, NCAA
crowd started to chant AJ killed you with Sterling James Keenan as he prepares to take on Stevie Lynn in our second bonus match of the afternoon here at night 2 of All or Nothing. Joe Dombrowski and Bryce Remsburg. And Bryce, gotta ask you right at the back, what about that Styles Clash delivered to Sterling James Keenan last night in the first round of our title tournament?
Apparently this is Sterling's corpse wrestling because AJ killed him last night. He didn't literally kill him, but Sterling, as cocky as he is, should be thanking his lucky stars, whoever they are, that he's walking today. The Styles Clash is a dangerous move normally, but you saw last night, right on the top of his head, his neck compressed, his C5 vertebra.
Shades of the Frankie Kazarian incident from years gone by.
Absolutely.
And tonight's not going to do Sterling any favors.
No.
He's got to wrestle Stevie Lynn here in this special bonus match, and he's also going one-on-one with the one and only Two Cold Scorpio.
A couple hours
later tonight. You know his neck's nowhere near 100%. How is he going to fare as this night progresses?
Yep. We've seen Stevie Lynn before on the Fan Slam card, taking on Anthony Kingdom James once upon a time, and I do believe he was a part of the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla card held in this great country a couple weeks ago.
Wouldn't doubt it. Stevie Lynn, a great talent, one of the top young prospects in the United Kingdom.
Yep.
But I think it's interesting that Sterling James Keenan has chosen to sign on for some of these special afternoon matches. It seems with Abyss, he's conquering the top tier of 1PW, and it seems he's not content just doing that. He wants to control the entire organization from the ground up.
Yeah. I don't think
hanging the arm over that top ring cable.
Randy Savage style. I don't think Sterling cares, to be honest. Put him in a ring with a guy, you know. He's got some hefty words, but he does back it up in the ring. That's why Sterling and Abyss are so dangerous, for that matter.
And that's why they currently possess that all-important prize, the 1PW Heavyweight Championship.
When you're the champion, you're on top of the mountain. You're controlling the promotion. Sterling knows that.
But what about the factor Sterling James Keenan played into that final round matchup against AJ Styles?
Yeah,
if not for Sterling's interference, I have to believe AJ would have persevered and become 1PW champion as we speak. After all, AJ did pick up that victory at a cruel twist of fate last October.
I don't doubt that AJ will receive a return match in the coming months here.
Well, you have to believe Sterling James Keenan will be petitioning to the board of directors to try to avoid a potential rematch. After all, AJ Styles is the only man to defeat Abyss in a 1PW ring with Sterling and Abyss as a unit, and MK Ultra attempt. That sunset flip bomb, but Sterling escapes and walks right into a clothesline.
Rolls through Sterling right on the back of his neck.
That Stevie well served to focus on that neck with that enziguri kick. Battle of press count of 2.
Deep hook of the leg by Stevie Lynn. That's smart wrestling. Let's go for a brain buster.
Stevie's still feeling the effects of that arm though. Sterling able to counter.
Sterling perhaps.
Buries the knee.
Oh, jeez!
I believe we can call it the moss-covered three-handled family of Cadunzo.
Sure. Sounds good, Jericho.
Shades of Perry Saturn.
Yeah. And I'm Stinko Malenko. Pulling Sterling up to a vertical base. Maybe this is the brainbuster he was looking for.
But again, Sterling escapes.
Still with it scouted. Right back to MK Ultra, baby.
Second time's the charm.
Right.
Drops him on his neck. You want to talk about spine compression?
Good.
Right there.
That move is so dangerous. As soon as you land upon your shoulders are on the mat.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner, as champion, Sterling James Keenan.
Sterling victorious over Stevie Lynn here tonight at All or Nothing Night 2. A beautiful matchup, a great effort by Stevie Lynn, but how long is Sterling James Keenan continue to wrestle on that very badly damaged neck? Really be able to survive Two Cold Scorpio towards the end of the night? We will find out momentarily. Wait a second. Is that who I think it is? Our show is not officially started yet.
Christian Cage is here.
It's the afternoon show, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing?
to come out here and run up somebody or anything like that, but I just wanted to come out, I was sitting in the back here watching the monitor, and I couldn't help, I just had to come out here. I'm not trying to steal your shine or anything like that, but I just wanted to tell you I was really impressed with you. I think you're a great young talent. I think you're a future superstar in this business. And hey, man.
Great showing of respect by Captain Charisma.
High words of praise from a respected source.
Coming from a world champion right there.
And I just want to tell you, a little more seasoning, maybe in a year or two, you keep it up like that, you may be ready for a shot at the NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Wow. And Sterling did not take kindly to that. Step factor, Christian Cage hammering away on Sterling James Keenan, and we got a brawl out here. Impromptu brawl between Christian Cage and Sterling James Keenan. Our show has not even started yet. Christian Cage scheduled to face Abyss for the title. Later tonight, Cage gets that automatic title shot. Unprettier time. Cage gonna finish him off with that back. Oh! Sterling gets dropped. And if that neck wasn't broken before, it just might be now.
Christian came out here to give Sterling words of praise.
And Sterling, that cocky, you know what, wouldn't take it. Sterling James.
Stay on or what? I know Cena sucks, you don't have to tell me.
Wow. Who?
I didn't come here to talk about John Cena. I came out here to congratulate this jackass. And he slaps me in the face, but that's alright. Because I just got to show what's going to happen later on tonight. When I face Abyss. And the NWA World Heavyweight Champion becomes the 1PW Heavyweight Champion. And I'm going to do it right here in front of all the great fans, all my peeps, the Christian Coalition in Doncaster, England. Why? Because that's...
Oh my God! In a second, Christian, 1PW champion! The weapon of mass destruction, Abyss! Just attack Christian from behind! Abyss! My God, Christian! Shoulder first into the ring post!
Separate your shoulder a heartbeat.
Abyss taking offense to Cage's assault on Sterling James Keenan a second time! You're gonna dislocate his shoulder!
Same shoulder.
Two shots into solid steel, vaulted by a man over 350 pounds. And Abyss having a field day with Christian Cage. Oh no. I think the detonator's been set. Oh, slam! Abyss drills Cage with the black hole slam.
If his shoulder was previously separated, that'll be about it.
My God. We gotta get out. We gotta get somebody to stop this. Abyss may have badly injured Christian Cage. He's favoring the shoulder. You see Abyss looking at that NWA World's title, eyeing it up. This has to stop. Abyss may have seriously injured Christian. Let's get out of this segment right now. It's.
We need somebody. We need somebody.